call it 4K Blu-ray because it's not quite Blu-ray anymore, is it? Maybe, I don't know, it's more of a red ray? I don't know. Anyway, we'll call it 4K UHD. So a lot of people that didn't adapt last year when 4K came out, or didn't adapt when I started with 4K. Now the game systems are out. Now the PS5's out, the Xbox Series X is out, and 4K is becoming a bit of a bigger thing. Just like when I just realized my mic was all the way over there. If you could hear me, then congratulations, you have amazing hearing. I do apologize. Well, it's been one of those nights. So hopefully, I gotta fix this camera here. Hopefully you can hear me now. Is that better? All right. All right. So with the new systems out, okay, that's great. I didn't realize I was over there. I was just trying to fix things over before. It's been a long night. Just to let you guys know, I taped an episode of Cobwebs with Daniel, of a new podcast that's going to be coming up on Tuesday, and we are going to be going through the Ultimate Hammer collection that came out from Mill Creek Entertainment. It's a deep dive, and I am excited about that. Hey there, Alan. Hey there, Craig. Hey, guys. I do apologize that I may seem a little bit more tired than I normally do, but that's because I worked a 9-hour shift, got off work, did a podcast, did some stuff around the house that I need to do, and that's no excuse. I still have to make my videos. For those that come in here and hit the like button when they do, thank you so much. That means a lot. And just so you know, for those that don't know what the whole like button thing does, basically, if you look up my name or you look up like one of the things that I talk about in a video, that all depends upon the like button. So if you don't hit the like button and you go to look for one of my Vinegar Syndromes things or 4Ks or whatever, you're not going to see me. So that's why that's important. Anyway, so tonight we're talking 4K. So is anybody here not doesn't have a 4K system yet, not into the new format? Or is anybody just getting into it this year for the first time because maybe there's a new, there's all these new game systems come out. And let's face it, Blu-ray had quite a huge surge after the PS3 got down to a reasonable price. Because initially the PS3 was kind of expensive. And I know because I was an early adapter to the PS3 and I spent way too much money on it. But it was tax time, and I was like, okay, I can do this. Okay, so I got a whole bunch of movies here to show you guys. I'm going to try and, Craig, I am going to try and lure you over to the dark side. Hey there, Italian. Welcome, man. Not a problem. I try to tag as many people as I can. I'm still horrible at the tagging thing, so if you're here and I didn't tag you, let me know so that I can tag you next time on Twitter. I do try to tag a bunch of people, and then I see like there are people waiting in your lobby, and I'm like, yeah, I guess I better like just send out the tweet and do stuff. But there's gonna be some sexy 4Ks here. So, Craig, some really sexy 4Ks. They may tempt you. They might. But these are ones that I like. Some of these are, and I'm not the super tech guy, so I'm not going to get into a lot of like, okay, this is a reference disc and this isn't. I'm going to give you just my personal opinion on a lot of this stuff. 8K TV. Yeah, actually, I do watch Unboxing Therapy. 8K is something that, like, 8K is not something, people always ask me, is 8K going to be a format that we're going to see anytime in the near future? I don't think we're going to see 8K discs. I think 8K is going to be used mostly for, like, streaming and gaming. That's what 8K is for. 4K is, for now anyway, 4K is, I think, going to be the last bastion of the physical media, the top tier echelon of it all. So let's hope the 4K makes a big spike with the new systems and stuff coming out, and doesn't go the way of the Laserdisc, which I do love because I love my Laserdisc. So let's start with a big one. Let's start out with one. Hey there, Brian. Welcome. This is Brian from Just This Podcast and Pure Cinema Podcast and Just This YouTube channel, which you should be checking out. I have an old 4K with no HDR. I have an older 4K too. I got HDR, but it's like the lower HDR. I don't have an HDR 10 plus or anything like that. My next 4K is definitely going to be something more along the lines of of like an LG. So, for those that don't know, a little quick thing with 4K. So initially there was really kind of two like kind of like hey there, Sasha. There was two big 4K things. There was HDR, which kind of came up to HDR 10, and there was Dolby Vision. So Sony backed Dolby Vision, which came with Dolby Atmos. And one of the things that you have to understand when you're looking at 4K is it's not just about the picture. Picture's fantastic when it's done right. When it's like anything, like a Blu-ray, like a DVD, like a 4K, when it's authored right, picture's going to be done really well. Older films are going to have the greatest like level of improvement, or anything shot on film, because there's more elements that they can actually use. But one of the big advantages of 4K isn't just the picture, it's the sound. More theater quality sound. Hey there, Jason. And you got to have like a good sound system. I got like a mediocre sound system, an okay sound system. It's a Sonos. So it's, I got my speakers in the back type of thing. But if you can do it, what you want to get is like Dolby Atmos. You want to get the Dolby Atmos. And there are certain TVs. Oh, well, it's not too late. Kubrick, you came in actually right in time. But use a 1080p projector. Well, one of my friends actually thinks of it like thinks they should go for a projector, but they're going to go for a 4K projector, which is good actually. There's advantages for projector as well. So if you can get something that has both HDR 10 plus and Dolby Vision, that's what you're looking for. You don't want something that has one or the other. You want to get the advantages of both. And what you really want to get is see that the sound has like the ability for Dolby Atmos. I love Dolby Atmos. I like it, but I can understand. But you have to understand, like, it is theater sound like quality. Hey there, Trini. It has theater quality sound to it. So basically, you got to set that up right, because if you've ever gone to the theater and they've had the sound like tweaked up a bit too much, man, you can feel it. So you don't want to be feeling it too much in your house. And if you got cats like me, then if you're watching a movie, especially a heavy action film or something with a lot of explosions, you got to be careful, because my cats are older. I don't want to scare them too much. But that's what you're looking for. For me, I recommend the LG, because there is a cinematic mode that pretty much is meant to optimize your television to look more towards what it would look like in the cinema. It's also called a filmmaker mode. They kind of attach Chris Nolan to that a lot. I was gonna make a Chris Nolan-y video actually tonight too. So if you have 360-degree sound, that's the thing, man. If you know what you want, you know exactly what it is. That's perfect. That's excellent. But I'm just giving the options. All right, so let's go through a few 4Ks here. Some I'm gonna say are absolute must-owns, like 110%. And the first I'm going to show you guys. Yeah, most LG TVs do have HDR and Dolby Vision, and they do have the choice of usually have the Dolby Atmos sound as well. So you got your choices there. LG, as with their OLED TVs, their OLEDs, have pretty much, hey there, Dave, have won like around 6 or 7 years in a row in their category. I had to cancel my Tremors release, actually. Unfortunately, I will get it down the road, Warlock. But you know the way this year's been for me. It's been a crazy, twirly, roller coaster type of year. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Keeps things interesting, right? All right. So the first one, hey there, Chris, is is one that I do recommend. Oh yes, it is. It is Stanley Kubrick in 4K. I do not have The Shining. I wish I did. I really do. It is really super expensive, but this is 2001: A Space Odyssey. It is one of the most gorgeous pieces of cinema that's out there. I do love this film. I know that some people uh, could have like really love this really love this film, and other people like they find it a little bit like slower and stuff like that. And I get that. I get both sides of the coin. But this is one that even though it's a long film, and you know it's Kubrick, so you know it's gonna be a long film. It just plays so well. Craig, this is definitely worth picking up. I mean, and here's the thing, Craig. If I might talk to you, the thing is, if you pick up the 4K, you're set because you don't only have the 4K disc. Hey there, Elvin, but you also got the Blu-ray, so you are future-proofed for when you get 4K. So look down on par with the 70 millimeters. That is high praise, man. And if you can get the really sexy looking 4K, then you're gonna get like a it's gonna get yourself a whole like thing here, which is cards and stuff from 2001. I won't take them all out right now, but just look at this. It's gorgeous. Or as a brass tacks would say, it's sexy, baby. All right. One reason to get 4K. Now, do you want a 4K that's actually gonna, like, if you got somebody, like, you got your 4K TV, you got your setup done, you got your sound system on, some friends come over, and they're doing that thing, you know that some people do before they have the 4K TV, and they're like, you don't really see any difference in the 4K. You know, it's the same. I got my 1080 p Blu-ray thing, no difference. You can't see the difference, and they go on and they talk about it like that for a while. So you put on this. Not joking. So you put on Planet Earth 2. And you know what? Usually if somebody asks me, you know, just like randomly, hey, can you show me something that really looks 4K? Yeah, this does, man. This has really great HDR. You can see the grains of sand. This is utterly gorgeous. And it was one of the very first that we bought. I actually watched an episode of this on 4K streaming on my TV initially, and basically, I'll be honest with you, the 4K streaming version of Planet Earth 2, not up to the quality of the disc. Do not be fooled with 4K streaming. Right now, 4K streaming is not at the level that 4K should be at it's the level it can be at, I guess, technologically wise. But size image has a lot to an extent. I mean, people overdo it with image size. I mean, honestly, 55, 65 inches, you're good. You're still going to see difference. It just matters on where you're sitting from. You're going to hear a difference. I don't care what size your screen is. You're going to hear a difference in 4K immediately. That's going to be something. If you're an audiophile, yeah, you're going to hear those beats. Even with just a half decent like setup, that you're going to hear the difference. The bigger the TV is, of course, you know, bigger screen, you're going to see. Hey there, Al. You're going to see like more. Another way is, you know, look at those blacks, the inky blacks and stuff like that. That's going to really show you. Next up is one that I actually really liked. Now, some people didn't like this film, but one thing you can't take away from this film is the 4K. It doesn't work though. Thing is, the Atmos tracks on the 1080p isn't going to work the same way that it's going to work on a 4K player. See, 4K is is meant to be more theater. It's meant to be more theater realistic, as close to the theater as you're going to get. And at a time when Warner Brothers has taken all their has taken all their movies and put it on HBO Max, and for the next like 6 or 8 months, some of us might be going to the theater. Now might be the time to invest in that like theater quality sound and picture. Murder on the Orient Express. This looks amazing. This is one that surprised me. It was a little film, with some murder mystery on a train. I didn't expect to be kind of blown away with this, but I was. I was really blown away with this one actually. The film is cool, but the picture is gorgeous. Now sales will not support 8K. Like 8K, we're like 8K is totally for streaming and gaming. That's what 8K is for. People are often like kind of get them mixed up. They think like 8K is going to be like this. So are they going to like dump the 4K disc and go to 8K? No, they're just actually starting to adapt 4K right now. They're only really starting to kind of come into its own. Most TVs that you see out there now are usually um, like basically 4K TVs now anyway. You still can find the occasional 1080p, but more of the TVs you're finding now, and actually for really cheap. New York Ripper, I still want the 4K. I want the 4K of the Blue Underground so bad. I have none of them. So if you're hoping to see a Blue Underground one, definitely buy those. I recommend them wholeheartedly. I've heard from a lot of people about those. Uh, but uh, but yeah, I don't have one. All right. Oh yeah, 1080. Yeah, actually 4K TVs are getting like super cheap now too. That's the thing. That's why now is a really good time. And the reason that they're making them cheaper, the reason that you're being able to get like these TVs cheaper right now, is because Sony and Microsoft are wanting to push the new systems, and they want the new systems to be, this is their 4K 60 FPS, for on a good day, with their 3D audio and their Tempest sound. So yeah, they wanna push the 4K right now as much as possible. That's why even like both the systems got 4K players in them. And that's the well, I still collect all, but still. See, that's a good price. Like 4K 80-inch TV for for less than $1,000. That's really good. That's like really really good. All right, let's put these two together. Anytime that you do any research on 4K and you're looking into discs that are really really good and really like highly like acclaimed for their picture quality, uh, John Wick 1 and 2. I don't have three, so I don't know. But these are gorgeous. And when you got a picture that's dark, and there's some dark scenes in John Wick, that's how you can really test like your darkness levels, like your black levels on your 4K. Actually, kind of untrue. The best time, the thing is like they will put kind of mid-level or sometimes low-level TVs on sale on Black Friday. Uh, what you want to do is look a couple weeks before Black Friday starts. Um, you're going to notice that some of the higher end TVs, like the 4K TVs, are going to be offered like really good prices, really kind of brought down. And the overstock is what they're going to be pushing on Black Friday. They're going to push the overstock first, and you're going to get like decent prices on some of the higher end stuff. But look at about a few weeks before Black Friday starts, and you'll notice that they have some sales on 4K TVs that don't make it to the Black Friday sale. So a little like insider tip, just check that out. I used to work at a Best Buy. So, um, you and your homies are getting cool points tonight, I tell you, Dad. There is a fourth in the works, actually. Yes. Uh, these are gorgeous. I saw the last one in the drive-in with the dogs and the fights. It was amazing. Um, I cannot wait to get that one actually. All right, this one I like, and it's for a specific scene in this film. Like the 4K in this one's really good. The HDR is great, but not everybody likes this film. Ready Player One, and as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of of Kubrick, and the Shining sequence in this film is amazing. It is actually the only sequence in the film, by the way, that is done with actual practical effects. So when you're watching the rest of this, a lot of this film is done with a lot of digital and like CGI and stuff like that. But when you watch this Shining sequence of this film, which isn't in the book, by the way, that's the practical effects sequence, and you can tell because it pops and it shows so much better in here than it does normally. Okay, ready for the next one? Rad, put out by Arrow. They had more copies of this one during the sale. They went in a minute. Like think of that. They went they went in a hot minute. I was trying to get this for a friend of mine that messaged me about it. And you know what happened? They were gone. That's what happened. Oh, Rad is actually a really, really good 4K. Um, Vinegar Syndrome has kind of been knocking it out of the park with with their 4K. That is the Rad lenticular cover with the metallic on the back, the foil cover. Some people are like, "There's some scratches in my foil." Like there's a couple scuffs in my foil. Those people have never bought a comic book before, because if they did, then they would know all about foil covers and how that works. Is a Rad cover embossed? No, I don't think so. It is lenticular on one side and it is metallic foil on the other. Rad or Tammy the T Rex? It really depends, Warlock, on what you're going in for. Tammy the T Rex is a fun, like they're both like good 4K releases. Like I would put them on even keel. Tammy the T Rex is like a really fun film with Denise Richards and Paul Walker, and it's really enjoyable romp. If you ask me which 4K is better, pretty much even. But if you ask me which one to grab first, well, Rad's out of print, but I'd go for Tam the T Rex first. I did like Rad. I love the soundtrack. Soundtrack's great. It's a fun, like if it's an '80s throwback. That Denise Richards' first film. I actually don't know. It's an early one. I think it was Paul Walker's first film. And of course, you got the guy from Weekend at Bernie's in there. You know what was a really, really good 4K though? That actually really surprised me, because this film looked gorgeous, and this was like a film in the '80s. Which is better, Rad or BMX Bandits? In all honesty, Craig, I have not seen BMX Bandits in years, so I can't answer the question without. I'm going to say Rad because I've seen Rad recently, but only because I've seen Rad recently. I don't know. Also, Lori Loughlin is in Rad. Is Nicole Kidman in BMX Bandits, or am I thinking of another film? 50th anniversary of the French Connection. Maybe next year. So by Disney now. It can still happen. You never know, man. All right. Deadly Games. Well, seeing Nicole Kidman 4K is amazing. Um, this this one rocks. Not only is this a fantastic film, this is an amazing transfer, and I do recommend this one. So I cannot wait to see Beastmaster in 4K. Tanya Roberts in 4K. Just just gonna put that out there. Gonna let that sink in for a second. For those of you that have ordered Beastmaster or thinking about doing it, Tanya Roberts in 4K. If that does not convince you, hey there, rolling stop. Your copy of Deadly Games on the way. Nice. Rad or Gleaming the Cube. Well, I skateboarded. I didn't BMX bike, so probably for me, Gleaming the Cube. Um, I was a boarder. I wasn't like a, I wasn't like a. I had to like hide like skateboarding. Like my grandparents, my mom didn't want me to skateboard, so I'd have to like get a friend's skateboard. And I think for a while there, like I had one, but I had to hide it. But yeah, so I haven't skateboard. Obviously, I haven't skateboarded in years. Probably fall on my ass. Oh, this is a glorious 4K. Brian, if you're still there, man, testify, man. This is gorgeous. Of course, whether they do Beastmaster 2 and 3. Probably as a Blu-ray, probably not as a 4K. Oh, Luke. See, this is a cotton candy, colorful, glorious little film on its own, on a regular basis. Uh, the 4K edition of this one, oh, yes, yes, yes. And Brian Sauer from Just This just told you it was his favorite 4K of the year. And that, my friends, is high praise. Oh, Arrow's gone for, yeah. Arrow's put out, this Crash was put out in 4K from Arrow. Uh, Flash Gordon, Pitch Black, and coming out soon, Tremors, which Warlock mentioned there earlier. I did order Tremors, and then financing happened, and I canceled Tremors, so I'll get it down the road. Yo, you got to see Flash Gordon. He's a miracle. Hey George, I am exhausted, man, but I'm making this video because you guys are awesome, and I want to be here for you guys right now doing some stuff. This one is gorgeous, by the way. If you can get the collector's edition, like grab it up while it's still available. It's really cool. You get like the 4K in here, and you get the Life of After Flash Blu-ray as well, which is really good. There's like cards and a poster and a book and all that type of stuff. Demons is coming next year in 4K. Demons and Demons 2. Uh, and I am looking forward. Hey there, EW. I am looking so much forward to the Demons films in 4K because I know those will look gorgeous. All right, for my horror fans out there who thought I may have forgotten them, this is really good looking. Like to the point where I noticed things in this film. Like I've watched this movie, like no word of a lie. I've seen like Halloween over the years hundreds of times. Uh, but when I watched this one, the 4K, some people I was nervous at first because when I bought it, I looked online and somebody said, "Well, it's too dark. It's not as lit up as the all of my 4Ks, pretty much almost all of them, unless I'd already like seen it and I didn't get around to watching it again. Usually, if I get a 4K, I don't buy them as like as much as I buy other things. So that tends to be something that's an event in our house. So we tend to watch it. There's always ones that you're going to see along here that aren't open that I still got to watch because well I'm working a lot right now. This is gorgeous, and there are times when you see Michael Myers in this one that I don't think I saw him like initially in the film. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, they said this was too dark, but actually no, it wasn't. It was artificially brightened. Extremely underrated transfer, Jason. That one of the most underrated transfers out there. It is definitely not unwatchable. This, my friend, is the best that this film has ever looked. 100% the best has ever looked. I have not seen Possessor yet. I found out that it's got a 4K that just came out, but it comes with the Blu-ray. So if you want to go back and watch it with mono sound afterwards, or you want to turn on your mono sound, you can. But if you want to see it looking the best it's looked, then you buy the 4K because it looks good. Hey Ryan, welcome man. Hey mid-level, we're talking about some stuff that you actually know about 4K. Does Criterion do 4K? Criterion Jack is the last person that will ever do 4K. I expect them to do 4K in 2001. 2001, my God, 2021. I expect to see our first 4K announcements from Criterion like next year. They've been dragging their heels, but I think it's going to happen. I got a feeling it's going to happen. All right, the next, it's a 4-pack really. There's 4 films. And do I recommend them? Hell yeah. Middle of Media has an amazing talent guides, which you guys should be checking out if you're not. Batman, which actually looks really gorgeous. Batman Returns looks a bit better actually. And honestly, the ones that look best, Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. These are my Batman films, guys. These are the Batman films that I love. These are the ones that I watch over and over again. You're right, Luke, and it's something that I did mention that I see it not for me, not at all. Actually, it doesn't ruin it. How can you watch it without seeing the best picture possible, and actually seeing Malcolm Marston scenes where you couldn't see him before? It is gorgeous. I mean, like, you heard about things about the Batman transfers? I will go on that hill and tell you right now that I really liked all the Batman transfers. All of them are definitely upgrades to best of our subjective. That's the thing. This is just my list, my opinions. Hey there, Dagger. Uh, but anybody that tells you that like Batman and Robin and Batman Forever do not look amazing in 4K, we've talked enough about the soundtrack on Halloween. We're going on. I hope so, actually, Elvin. I hope that you're right about the all sales final thing. Uh, obviously that's something I'm nervous about, but we'll see soon. So Sonic the Hedgehog getting a sequel, yeah. Well, it was really popular, so now expect a sequel, right? All right. The stuff that got me into 4K, I'm not gonna lie, bit of a bit of a poser when it came to that. You know, like when you got into Criterion first, I have not yet seen Daughters of Darkness. I don't have any of the Blue Underground, and I know they're all amazing. I've heard Daughters of Darkness is like mind blowing, but I have not yet seen it myself. Uh, when you got into like Criterion and you bought like a lot of Wes Anderson stuff, um, you remember that? Well, when a lot of people initially got into 4K, they grabbed this director, Christopher Nolan. Here's a polarizing film. I love this film. A lot of people don't like it. Dunkirk. It looks amazing, by the way. This is the one that I used to tweak my settings when I first got the system. But you tweak the settings. You want to make sure you got them right. I wish I had the Shining 4K. You love Dunkirk? You got cool points, Ryan. You get extra cool points for loving Dunkirk. Interstellar. Tarantino favorite is Dunkirk. See, Tarantino knows his stuff. I'm so jealous that you got to talk. You get to talk to Tarantino. I think we would have a good conversation, just because we like so much weird stuff. Tenet 4K is supposed to be really, really good. I watched a couple reviews on it, and it's supposed to be amazing. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. And of course, well, pretty much almost everybody's favorite Christopher Nolan film, Inception. That Africa one's what we really want because we like weird stuff. Oh, Jason, you got to check out Inception, man. It's a bit of a mind trip. Automatically, Rocky Horror Picture Show is like going through my mind right now. All right, so this is a movie that I liked. I really liked. It was one of those that I watched and it hit me. And a couple days later, I was like, me and my better half were driving in the car, and we started talking about the movie again. And that was Mother. I really like Mother a lot. This this is one of my favorites of that year that this one came out, and I love this 4K. Excellent film, in my opinion. Highly underrated, actually. It seems like nowadays, if a director gets any type of I don't know, clout or anything, and he tries to make like a more personal film, then there's always gonna be like a negative section of like the film community that are gonna hate on it, and that's sad. Like, because we definitely should be kind of lifting ourselves up. I'm interested in the 4K on Lord of the Rings. I've heard like varying stuff on it. A lot of movies. See, it doesn't matter where it took its content from. It matters how it uses content. See, here's the thing, and this is something that bothers me. So it's a pet peeve of mine. Uh, See all these movies here. So a lot of them similar plot lines, similar stories. Uh, they take things from other films, homages. Do what Tarantino gets ragged about this a lot because he obviously takes things from a lot of stuff that he really enjoys. Fernando de Leo films, like different like horror and all that type of stuff. Hey there, Robert. 4K of Total Recall came yesterday. Oh, nice. Um, it's not it's not where you take it from. It's how you use what you've taken. I've watched Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3, and 4. I haven't. I've got a really good edition of it on Blu-ray. I haven't like checked the reviews on the 4K yet, and I got the Blu-ray with the cartoon series and everything too. So eventually down the road, but it Black to the Future was one of those that had a really good 1080p edition. It's blatant with a lot of stuff. I mean, like it's blatant. Are you gonna like say here and say it's blatant with Inception, but it's not blatant with like I don't know with like Pulp Fiction, or Reservoir Dogs, or or the or the other films. They are all right. Christine. Again, this was a really cheap 4K, and it actually is really really good. What's my number one 4K movie that you mean that I own in my collection? Um, like for like quality, like Planet Earth 2 looks probably one of the best looking ones. But like just for like personal like enjoyment, I obviously I love Halloween. The Shining, I don't have it. If I did have it, that would be number one because it is a fantastic film. If you prefer original stories, you got to go back a few years because everything's a twist on something else. Okay, so it again. This looks gorgeous. It sounds gorgeous too. This got like really good sound and really good picture on it. I love this. I don't have the second one. I did see the second one, so I'm gonna wait till it's really cheap, and then I'm gonna buy it chapter two because not gonna lie, don't hate me for it, but it's hit chapter two. It's okay. It's just not the quality of it chapter 1. But it's really hard because I knew that before I went in, and maybe that kind of like biased me a little bit, because if you ever read it, then the the book, the kids section of it, the book, way more interesting than when they become adults. Like way more interesting. It becomes a bit more of a slog, as they say, when they become adults. So wasn't unexpected. So the fact that they did it as good as they did, you know, props to them. This one was a given. I love this film. It's a slasher movie in space with an alien instead of a mass killer, and I adore every second of it. And here's a film you're going to test your darks on too. By the way, there's a lot of dark sequences in this film, and I just love this cover too. This is a gorgeous looking cover. All right, now to bring out one that I can promise you will not be on anybody's list. Do I think James Cameron will get in on the 4K transfers of his films? Yeah, because basically when you look at a 4K transfer of a film, uh, most of the time, uh, what you're really looking for is it is when you think of 4K transfer, usually it is like the director's vision, because a lot of directors get involved in their films when it comes to this level. Christopher Nolan gets involved with his films. Like um, Peter Jackson was very involved with Lord of the Rings 4K, and some people said to the detriment of the 4K. I have the 4K of Terminator. I haven't watched it yet. That's one that I haven't watched. I was asked if there's ones that I haven't watched. I have heard it's pretty. It's pretty like DNR. It's like pretty waxy. So that's always something that to look out for. I almost got like an uncanny valley type of feel to it. But I have not seen it myself. I'm going on like secondhand information. All right. I'm sure this one is on everybody's list. So in the book, he's supposed to look like a clown. That's the one thing that they messed up with the new It film, is that he looks super creepy. And the thing is that the reason like Pennywise was a clown to kids first was because it was disarming, and they'd get closer, and then he'd get like creepy and stuff. Hey there, Trash. Welcome, man. So when he got this like monsteric looking clown that no kid would go within 20 feet of, it was an odd decision. I'm not gonna lie. I actually did enjoy that movie despite that. But I'll be honest with you, it was something that does kind of take you out of it. Kind of like when you're watching the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, and the look of Freddy Krueger is just trash. You like it better than the first? I like that you got that hot take, because here's the thing: it's no good if we all agree on everything mid level. That makes it not fun. All right, Detective Pikachu. Yes, yes, I'm going there. I dug this film. I am a Pokemon guy. I didn't grow up with Pokemon. I was too old, but I did watch a lot of Pokemon, and I played the Pokemon games when I was in a dark time in my life, when I had I used to have, I won't believe it now, but I used to have like really bad anxiety, to the point where for like over a year I basically would like couldn't go. I would just go like a few feet outside my door. I was really bad, like with social anxiety. It was a rough time. So we were out once. I was with my kids, and we were at an EV Games, and he had this bin, right? So in the bin, he had this original Game Boy, and I got it, and I bought it, and I bought like Pokemon. I think it's Pokemon Pikachu, Pokemon Yellow. Anyway, so I started to like take that like play the game. So I would start to take little walks while playing the game, and I found that with as you know, almost like a security blanket type of thing, I would go a little bit farther each time, and eventually I broke out of it, and I do definitely say that that was extremely helpful for me, and obviously not something that's going to work for everybody, but it worked for me, and I've been so indebted to Pokemon ever since. But actually, that this was fun. Ryan Reynolds does a great voice job in this. This is a super cool film, and the world of the Pokemon look amazing here. Actually, I think I grew. I think I was born socially awkward. Like I'm. There we go. I was born socially awkward, and I'm okay with that. As you get older, you get more comfortable in your own skin. So the stuff that you thought is like odder or more like socially awkward before, you're like, you know what? Yeah, kind of part of what makes me me. I kind of dig it now. Blade Runner, amazing, amazing film. And this looks super gorgeous. Have I played Pokemon? Yes, I did, George. Actually, me and my better half used to play it a lot initially. Thank you, Alan. You rock, man. Every film in Canada is a French Canadian version because we're bilingual here. Well, I'm not bilingual. I don't speak. I should. I should speak two languages. But if you ever like buy films over here in Canada, a lot of these have French. Yeah, have Canadian, like English and French on it. We all go. I think we all do, man. We all get to that point thing where like oh my God, what is this person thinking of me? And you get to the point where you're like, not everybody's gonna like you. Not everybody's gonna like me. Do I have rollerball? I don't have rollerball in 4K. I did not know it was in 4K actually. But this looks gorgeous, and just so you know, so does this. They both look amazing in 4K. I prefer this one over this one. But Warlock, have a great night, man. I'll talk to you soon. Let me know if you get Tremors 4K, and let me know what it's like, so I can like envy you. But these are both gorgeous, and they're amazing films. Do you ever get stressed for having so many movies? Yeah, I mean like these. I have to keep checking these all the time. Like they're downstairs in the basement. I gotta have the humidifier. Um, I get stressed, like most like movie collectors do, and no matter what I got, I kind of see what I don't got. You know what I mean? It's like you'll look around and you can have like this amazing collection and all these like sets and like movies and 4Ks and special editions and but you'll always see the one that's missing. That it is a collector. It's that like thing, that albatross around a collector's neck. And if anybody else is like that, like please let me know that I'm not. It's not just me. Like because you're always like, oh, and you gotta like take time to kind of like slow down and think, you know what? Okay, I don't have to have everything, or I don't need to have everything now. I got to take a break. I got to sit back and watch the stuff that I got. Um, and then like you get times like you said there when you're planning a movie marathon and there's so much and you don't know what to go with. Pace yourself, right? That's it. That's great. That's great advice, actually. See, that's the thing. It happens. It happens to me all the time. Like I hear you guys talking about stuff that you picked up and all this stuff. I'm like, oh man, I wish I had this. Or you'll ask me if I had this release, and I'll be like, man, I wish I could show you this release, but I can't. But and that's the thing, you gotta like understand there's only so much that you can do, and that's okay. One of the first things I bought. Are these my favorite Batman films? No, the 80s, 90s Batman films are. Oh, I saw Blade Runner 2049 in theater initially, and man, it was a long film, but I loved it. Um, and we watched it again because we wanted to watch it with the 4K release when I got it home. But yeah, I've grown to appreciate these a lot more than I initially did. Like, I'll be honest with you, I dug Batman Begins when I first saw it, and I like parts of Dark Knight. I like the Joker in Dark Knight. I like Aaron Eckhart's Two Face. Uh, but I really uh, don't didn't like Christian Bale's Batman. That was always my thing. I thought like the stories were really good. I thought the sets were good, not great. That's one thing. That's one place where I think like Christopher Nolan like slipped a bit. You have to understand, I'm a huge comic book fan. That he didn't get Gotham right. Like it just came off as like basic Chicago, really. But I got what he was going for. But I think like there could have been a better casting for Batman. But actually, overall, I do enjoy these films, and I found that the more that I watch them, uh, the less that I get that I the less picky I am with it, basically. And for some people, like that's their generation that's their Batman they grew up with. And I would never say like, oh man, obviously because I grew up with Michael Keaton, I obviously have the superior opinion. No, I mean like everybody's got their own opinion, and everybody's got their own like things that they bring into a film. Beastmaster, oh yes, Don Coscarelli, Ryan, on 4K with Don Coscarelli movies on 4K. Can you imagine the Phantasm films on 4K? Holy crap! Yeah, but we bring different things into it. Like everybody has different experiences, different things that we bring into films when we go and watch them. Um, my what I expect out of a film for me, and the things that I bring going in, my perspectives and thoughts and ideas, and where I grew up in that is going to be different than yours and different than my better halves, who she was definitely more into the Dark Knight stuff, and she's like 7 years younger than I am. So and it's not just age; it's just like everybody's different perspective. Like earlier we talked about like sound and stuff like that, and some people like didn't like sound on this film, or they thought like, and every opinion is like it's super valid. Um, well, almost every opinion, not the really bad, but you know what I mean. Like everybody goes in with their own like concept of what they're looking for, and that for me is like that's a great thing because we learn a lot from each other though, as long as you remain open minded. Like I joke a lot, and I say, and I'll even debate in like in here, but at the end of the day, like the truth of the matter is, you gotta listen too. I agree with you. I'm not a I'm a Ray Harryhausen person. I grew up with that type of stuff. Um, and I don't think that a lot of the CGI that we're seeing now, like and even like before, a lot of it I don't think really ages well. That's why I think that like movies like Christopher Tenet's Nolan, um, Christopher Nolan's Tenet, which uses a lot of practical effects, is going to age better, because of that. And there may be films where that are lauded now that use a lot of CGI that may seem like kind of laughable down the road. Legend is a great film, by the way. I 100% agree with that. I would love to see Legend get a good 4K release. I got that old out of print Legend release, so the one with the transparent cover, um, and I've had that forever because yeah, I just have not seen another good release of that film, and it is such a good film too. But this is the year anyway. This is the time when the game systems come out and things like really do like um, right now. The game industry is huge. The money that they make, it's insane. So that's why you're seeing like a lot of stuff now, more so than before, go towards that. But that's just one guy's opinion. That's my thoughts on it. And those are a few of the 4Ks that I had that I wanted to bring into this conversation to talk about tonight, which hopefully we have all had fun with and enjoyed overall. At the end of the day, here's the thing: whether you're into 4K or 1080p or you like your VHS, this is what matters. Enjoy what you're watching, like what you like, and stick by it, and be okay with defending that. You can look at this and say, I don't care about 4K. I got my Blu-rays, and that's it. That's as far as I'm going for right now. And you know what? Nothing wrong at all with that. That's what you want to do. That's your bag. Fantastic. As long as you can watch it on an 8 millimeter reel. As long as you're sitting back and enjoying the films that you're watching, that that, my friends, is the most important thing. It doesn't matter how good the picture to Flash Gordon is. If I don't like Flash Gordon, but I just really do. I really love this film. So super glad that this had an amazing transfer. And I would agree with Brian. And like so far, out of all the 4Ks that I've seen, this is definitely this is my reference disc right now. This is amazing. It looks incredible. But 4K Blu-ray, VHS, Laserdisc, CED discs. Got any tatty for? I do not. Good morning, Cash. Just enjoy the stuff that you like. Yeah, that's the thing. You don't have to rebuy everything. People always think that like, okay, I got, hey, they're like, you don't have to go and rebuy everything. And people think this with every like generation thing. When people had their VHS and then DVDs came in, like, well, I'm not going to rebuy every VHS that I ever had before. I'm not start. I've got a huge VHS collection. I don't want to start over again. And then Blu-ray came around. People were like, well, I've got a huge DVD collection. Are you telling me that I got to buy these Blu-rays now? You don't have to do anything. Um, you choose to. Do you think Vinegar Cinema will be releasing nothing but 4K? No, I think Vinegar Cinema will always be releasing Blu-rays. I think 4Ks are for Vinegar Cinema for like a lot of companies because it costs a bit to like do a 4K release. 4Ks are going to be these like premiere editions of things, like movies that they really think that they can really sell well and can do a really good edition of. Affordability is key. Like and, and that's never been more true than right now. But that's why if you look at like what sells the most, guys, it's still DVDs because DVDs are affordable. People can go out. You can go to your local Walmart and you can go to your $5 or $3 if you live in the United States DVD bin and buy 2 or 3 movies for $10 and come home and have a nice evening of it. And a lot of times it's like newer releases as well, or some like favorites and classics. When it comes to getting some of these here more, I guess, prestige or boutique editions, uh, I don't think it's ignorance. I really don't. I think really it just what comes down to it's not just accessibility, but but that's part of it. But a lot of it is like, for instance, I a lot of people have like cabins, or they'll have like kids or grandparents that have nieces or nephews and stuff, and it's easy to like get a old DVD player or a DVD like at your player at your cabin, or having like a DVD thing set up on the back of your on your car, for instance, if you got like younger kids. So when you're going on rides, hey there, Richard. Uh, that's it's just that it's so prevalent and it's so inexpensive to do. But with that being said, I do have to work tomorrow, unfortunately, and I am so so tired. Okay. Would I suggest buying 4K Blu-ray sets to prepare for the day you can afford? Yeah, I would actually, if you can afford it. Like, don't go out of your way to get anything that you can't afford. But if it's a movie that you really like and you know that you're for sure going to be getting like a 4K setup in the future, future-proof yourself. I did it with Blu-rays. When I first was just getting DVDs, I started buying Blu-ray DVD combo packs. Future Shop would actually let you go in and bring in like DVDs at the time. There's no more Future Shop, uh, and uh, and you could actually get like the Blu-ray editions. Anyway, thank you for joining me here in the movie library tonight. I hope you had a fun time with this one here. It was a bit off the cuff tonight, and I apologize. I have, if I do seem a little bit more out of it than normal or a little bit different, it's just I'm really tired. So hopefully it came across okay tonight. Anyway, I am Aaron. By the way, if you are a Patreon supporter and you have not checked out my Scream video that I did, please check it out. I'm actually super proud of it. Um, do my And please, before you leave here, if you've been watching this video and you've been hopefully enjoying this video, please hit the like button. It really does help with the channel a lot, and it's how you get to see my videos, and you're not missing out when like the videos happen. And then I get so many messages, and people are always like, "Oh man, I wish I would have known that you were live." And I'm like, oh, just hit the like button because that's what does it. That's what lets people know. Anyway, like Spike it if you can before I go. I am Aaron. This is my movie life. You are the cult of cinema. You guys rock. You guys are awesome. It is cold down here tonight. Thanks, Jason. Thanks, everybody. Have a great evening. For me right now, I would say it's time for tea, but as you can see in my eyes, it is time for sleep. Have a great day. Great evening. Great night. Here we go. I am tired.